Hello, welcome to the Patreon exclusive edition of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge.
Ryan Seymour.
And we're about to jump into Heroes in Crisis number 8, the issue of issues that you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is where it is all made bare, laid out, made plain. We know who did what and why.
Yeah, that and the why is probably the bigger thing.
If not, I mean, like the hardest thing to accept with this is the why. So we've got Tom King, Mitch Gerads on the art, and they jump right in, right?
Just right out with the confessional to start with.
Yes. Wally West is who we see. I'm the fastest man alive. This is my confession. Now, here's the interesting thing for me. When he says this, right, there is not the I am one of.
Yeah.
It is the.
Yeah.
Is this stating that, in fact, at this moment, this Wally West is, in fact, faster than Barry?
Maybe.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And considering some of the things that we see in this, I'm almost willing to consider it.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
What he had to do to accomplish what he did
is very, very important. So we get like a quick montage of everyone that we know has been at Sanctuary dealing with their traumas.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally everyone. We got Roy looking at a syringe needle, which, I mean, if you are a fan of, you know, Green Arrow series.
He's a recovering addict.
Yeah, like you know what he's gone through. Speedy was on speed.
Yeah.
Irony.
Which.
Yeah.
I might digress.
Yeah, please.
So a bunch of years back, I think it was my first Diamond Alliance open house.
Right.
And I went there, and it was the evening dinner presentation with the open bar.
Okay.
In my youth.
Setting things up.
Yeah. So I was enjoying the open bar. And so we couldn't really find a good place to sit. And we got the best seat we could get.
Right.
And a gentleman came over and asked if he could sit at the table. And the room was kind of separated, all the retailers on one side, and then the publishers and the other dignitaries over on the other side.
Yeah.
And he, a little bit older than me at the time. He was 60-ish. I was early 20s. But there's like dudes from that time period and that generation would wear suits. So it wasn't out of the norm to see something like that. So he's sitting with us, and it's me and a couple other owners or managers that I know. And this does tie into this. So as we're starting to joke about all the different things that because DC was just rolling out their props and their merchandise and their memorabilia, and so we're joking about the different things that they can do.
Oh my God! And
the guy, the older gentleman, he's listening intently, but he's not interacting. But he's like really, it seems like he's interested.
Right.
And at some point, I blurt out what they need to do.
Oh my God.
Is they need to put out a kit with a syringe and a tourniquet and call it Speedy's Arsenal.
Oh.
The dude looks at me with the disgust, like to such a level, like it was, and I'm like, I'm in my 20s, so
you're like, whatever,
man. And so, And so the MC for the evening says, and now speaking for DC Comics, Bob Wayne.
Oh my God!
And he gets up. And he's walking there, and he's just looking back at me the entire time. And so he does his speech, doesn't come back to our table. And I'm looking at the other people, like, did you guys know? And they're like, yeah.
And you're like, I hate you.
Why didn't
I
you
hate
guys...
all of you. Like, shush me, something.
But from that point on, every time we would interact, he would just ghost me. Like, I would be standing there, and he would just ignore
disappear.
me. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, it was... So I created an enemy with that.
Well done.
But
well done.
I think we can dust that concept out for Heroes in Crisis, Speedy's Arsenal.
But it's right there. So I mean, maybe not. So through this 2-page setup, we've got Wally providing the narration, really talking about how he's feeling, how he's in this place, and it painted a picture about Sanctuary that I didn't quite grab.
Yeah,
is that the way that it functions, no one else knows who's there.
Right.
And I guess through holographics or any number of things, it's totally anonymous. And I guess I never quite picked that up about this place.
Yeah, because otherwise, you know, if you're like, hey, there's
right, like what are you in for? Like, you know, different therapy groups. Which I think is interesting that group therapy is not allowed, essentially. Like that's not a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And so as much as Wally is feeling alone, and what he's feeling alone
Mhm.
about is this return to this universe in rebirth.
Yeah.
Everything about his life had been erased
Yeah.
because he had sacrificed himself,
Yeah.
and like his children are gone, his
Yeah.
wife doesn't know who he is, like everyone doesn't remember him.
Yeah.
Luckily Barry did,
Yeah.
but like that was one of the few
Yeah.
individuals who did. And can you imagine like sacrificing it all only to be brought back and no one remembers what you did,
Yeah. That
knows
would
who
have to
you
be
are?
just insanely maddening.
Yeah.
Like you've given everything multiple times throughout the history of the DC universe,
Yes.
and you're just kind of
Like, wah, wah.
like a shadow.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's dark.
Yeah.
So he goes as far as to suggest that maybe Sanctuary is a prison of sorts
Mhm.
built specifically for him. Because in his mind, he's like, look, there's no one else here.
Yeah.
I'm feeling all alone and jaded and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. And Sanctuary's trying to tell you, like, no, you're not. It's not just you. And he's like, well, who else is here? And it's like, we can't tell you. And they're like, he's like, okay, look, if you really want me to accept and believe what you're saying,
Yeah.
you got to give me something.
Yeah. Who else has been here?
Right. Like, help me see that this isn't just me.
Yeah.
And it couldn't do it.
Because the thing is, without any proof that, like, okay, Batman was here. Look, here he is.
Right.
All you're seeing are holograms or people in masks. They could all be fake.
Right. Every single last one
Yeah.
of them. And so what's to stop you from thinking that this is, in fact, some sort of way to hide you,
Yeah.
put you away so that they can forget about you one more time?
Right.
Again, if you're dealing with this level of trauma, like, I can't even imagine
Yeah.
what sort of stimulation that would incur. Like,
Because you would think somebody of his history and
Yes.
his power level and everything he's done, it would be celebrated that he's back.
right.
But
Here it is. Like, this is really kind of like a dark time
yeah.
to be Wally West. Like, it's cold, man. And man, yikes. So this spread of Wally deciding to run
Yeah.
is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even like the hugest like fan of the Flash, but I would put this poster up in my office.
Yeah.
Because it is fantastic. The colors, the design, Mitch did his job.
Yeah. The ways in which it's kind of fudged out, not in focus, just you can just feel the movement.
Yes. And he's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I do best,
Mhm.
and I'm going to run. And I'm going to collect every piece of data that this place says that it collects and destroys.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, as this place is, with anonymity being the goal,
Yeah.
it takes information, video footage, and all this stuff, destroys it, like crunches it, however they break it up, whatever that terminology would
Yeah.
be, and disseminates it in all these different places so they can never be collected and used.
Yeah.
And even going as far as to say that it's a puzzle that take the average man a few billion years to put back together.
He's not the average man.
Far from.
When
From.
you've got time and you've got speed.
What else?
It's,
I mean,
yeah.
come on, like that's insane. And he said, so then I said, right, and it'd take the fastest man alive a few seconds.
Yeah.
Can we put into context what this is? Like, in an effort to verify that where he is not a prison just set for himself.
Yeah.
He goes about almost an impossible task
Yeah.
that if he wasn't who he is, could never be done.
Yeah.
Like, not even close.
Yeah.
Collecting all that information, putting it together so that succinctly he can see
This is real.
this is real. This isn't just me.
Yeah.
There are other people that are here, other people that are going through this and getting an experience. And I love this. I was weak for an instant. I decided in an instant, and in an instant I was everywhere,
Yeah.
collecting every scrap of data, piecing it back together. And in an instant, I saw every confession, every hero, every accident, every horror, every tear, every one.
Yeah.
He just put himself in like the Jesus mode of taking on everyone's sin,
Yeah.
and just to prove who he was.
Yeah. And all of that, like when he says it was in an instant, because of how fast he was going,
That's what it
really
was.
an instant. And
Right.
you have all of that knowledge, all of that heartbreak, all of that fear, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And it broke him.
Yeah. In this moment, he's like, look, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But he's so overwhelmed by that fact
Yeah.
that it hurt him. Like,
Yeah.
emotionally, it broke him harder than he was already broken.
Yeah.
Like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Like, to be like, was it a notion where for a moment he felt so selfish for what he was going through, thinking he was the only one?
Maybe.
And then you see this totality, and he's like, look at me crying in my cereal
Yeah.
over, oh, my family
Yeah.
was erased, which is not small.
Yeah.
It's not small, but to suddenly self-hamper his own outlet,
Yeah.
it was rough. He said he needed to breathe.
Yeah.
He just needed to get outside for some air. And funny enough, in this moment,
Yeah.
he needed to be alone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in his actions of collecting everything, it was a security breach.
Yeah.
Like, clearly it was a security breach, but because he's doing it so fast, he actually did it all before the system could react to him.
Yeah.
Which, again, dang.
Yeah.
Homie was moving. And in this moment, the security system is telling all the heroes to get out,
Yeah.
because essentially, for what it can tell, Sanctuary is under attack.
Yeah.
Get out. Like, your anonymity is at risk here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And he's so caught up in his grief,
Yeah.
crying out in the field. Everyone's coming towards him, which of course they're just like, oh, we need to, they're just vacating the premises. They're not even there for him,
Right.
necessarily.
But in that moment, it's
The Speed Force becomes an accidental weapon.
yeah.
Because what we don't understand is, as speedsters, they're always like the Speed Force is always behind them.
Yeah.
And they're the gate that keeps it back and just ride the propulsion of it. But in this moment, in his grief, he stops holding back.
Yeah.
And
It just rips through
man.
everybody in one moment. Just a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, lightning strikes to the chest, through people. I mean, even like Captain Steel, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That's insane. Roy, I mean, Blue Jay,
Yeah.
everyone.
And all they were doing was trying to escape what they thought was an attack.
Only to walk into one.
Yeah.
Cold, man. Cold. And this is the moment where I think he truly goes over the edge.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it's one thing to, I need to prove to myself that this isn't what I
Right.
think it is. And then it just accidentally happens.
right?
This is where I think you're 100% right, because his actions and premeditate, the thought that he puts into what he does next
Right.
is where it's like,
This is where it goes bad.
yeah.
Yeah. So in this moment of reprogramming all of Sanctuary, and he did, in order to get all this information, he had to reprogram everything. He suddenly became aware of who all was there.
Yeah.
And in the sense of things, what he realized is that Booster and Harley didn't come out.
Yeah.
They were either they didn't register what happened, or they were in the midst of their video session. They didn't want to leave. They didn't come out.
Yeah.
So in effect, just as quick as everything, he goes back and he reprograms what they can see.
Yeah.
And he programs it so that both of them see each other,
Yeah.
killing everyone.
Yeah.
That's so messed up, man.
Yeah. Because you're clearly trying to cover stuff up.
Right. And it's like it wasn't a murderous act. He wasn't trying to do this.
It was an accident.
Right. Like pure accident. So the fact that he's responding in this way makes it feel and seem like something so much more.
Because had it, right from when it happened, when Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are tearing ass to get to Sanctuary,
Right.
if he had just been sitting there like, this is what happened, guys.
This is what happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Help me fix it. If I go back, maybe I can do this or I can do that.
Yeah.
There's so many things that he could possibly have done, but he literally does what he can
Yeah.
to hide it.
Yeah.
And that was, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is so crazy. Literally goes to, well, let's see. He tried to borrow some of Booster's tech,
Yeah.
but it had a backup shield. And so he had to figure out how to shut that down.
Yeah.
Like he's doing crimes on crimes
Yeah.
to hide what he's done.
Yeah. And this next, oh my gosh, because this next, I mean, it's a crime still.
Yeah.
This is so one of the next things he does, he uses the Booster's tech to travel, and he finds himself
forward in time.
Yeah. So when the B team was talking about like, oh, there's something wrong with his body, it's too old.
Right.
This is why. This is the body from him 5 days in the future.
Right.
And oh,
he willfully kills himself, allows himself to be killed by himself.
yeah.
Like, he finds himself with poison ivy and murders the past one, the older one.
Yeah.
And the older one, of course, is like, yeah, like,
I guess that's it.
this is it. Like, go. And then he takes that old body, takes it back to Sanctuary in the current time, and places him at the scene.
Yeah.
Now, here's the part where I'm like, in every actuality, Wally West is now Joker crazy gone.
Yeah.
Because if he could do this,
Mhm.
why couldn't he use that tech to just go back and stop this from happening?
Right.
Like, this is so much like all wrong thinking
Yeah.
on how to do this whole thing.
If you're going to use time travel,
Right.
and you're going to try to fix things, why not save lives? Why go into the future and kill yourself there, and yourself is on board? So, like, is that something that you've been thinking
For
about?
5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just he's going to show up eventually, and let's just do this, and then.
And I'm free.
Yeah.
I don't have to hide this anymore.
But then he still has to hide.
He is. He's still hiding. Like, it's crazy. He goes back, stages himself, allows for Booster to see him, allows Harley to see him.
Yeah.
Goes back and paints that riddle. The puddles are all dead.
Yeah.
Or puddlers. And to go into what that means,
Yeah.
that's scary too.
Yeah.
Like, as though in some way, shape, or form, he somehow feels like what he's doing is noble,
Yeah.
and he's going to make everyone stronger by having taken their weaknesses out.
Yeah.
And, woo, are the heroes the weaknesses? Like, because they were at Sanctuary?
Maybe.
And is he included in that weakness?
Maybe, because I mean, yeah. Like, when you think about it, because like these are people with flaws.
Right.
How can you be a paragon
If you have a...
Yeah. So I mean, there's
some dark reading, man.
Yeah.
This is dark. I'm good. So yeah, looking at it, it's so desperate, and he is so broken
yeah.
by what he's done. And again, I just can't help but think that there's a better solution. But the whole time
Yeah.
he's thinking like, I know what Bruce will do. I know
Yeah.
what Barry will
Right.
do. And I'm going to operate to cover up these things so that they don't know that it's me.
Right. When you would know what, like they would have. Yeah. It's so. Yeah. So where does he go from there?
Well, it looks like as this is the showcase, what he's done is he's telling Lois
Yeah.
in a confession what he did. And he's like, look, it's 5 days until I come and kill myself. 5 days. 5 days for me to do something as good as what I'd done bad. 5 days for me to finally tell the truth. So,
But you're sitting there for 5 days. You've gone through all the machinations. You're like, okay, I can throw off Batman.
Yeah.
I can throw off Barry. Nobody's gonna know.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
is he still like? Oh my gosh, there's so much. Why you could have gone back in time? You could have tried to prevent that from happening.
Anything, any of this.
Yeah.
And the wound that you're going to leave everyone else, especially because he kills himself after
Yeah.
5 days. So you have solved the problem
Yeah.
of this threat of Wally being this killer.
Yeah.
You've already taken him out. And they know it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, this body is, it's 5 days too young, I guess, for where we are. And this isn't
Yeah.
right. And blah, blah, blah. So when you figure this out, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Where does this character go? Like is he now a bad guy? I mean,
Right.
I don't think you cannot be a bad guy
I-
when you go about covering up.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely now a villain. I don't want to call him a bad guy, and I think that's more about
Yeah.
intent and motive.
Yeah.
But a villain is what he's become. Like, you've
Yeah.
done a villainous thing.
Yeah.
And despite your intention, dude.
Yeah. When you go through everything to cover the crime up, including killing a future version of yourself to use the body.
Oh God, you said that out loud.
Yeah. That's
Ah.
there's a level of something going on.
Yeah,
that,
man.
Like
That's dark. That's brutal dark. I don't like my DC heroes this
Yeah.
dark and bleak. I just don't.
Oh,
The closest thing that I want to see like this is Watchmen, and that's because they're not like
they're not. Yeah.
they're not these guys. These
Yeah.
guys are the shiny ones, and
Yeah.
this makes me feel a
yeah.
certain way.
This cover just is like.
Right, man. That's so. This is. I mean, it's a very interesting read. It's a huge dynamic in terms of character development, and literally, this issue. It's only Wally. Like, he's not talking to anyone else.
Yeah, it's just him sitting there in the confessional talking.
Yeah. So to have such a focused narration of story, like this is a master class on how to tell an amazing story.
Yeah.
But man, this is not a story I wanted to read.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what's
No.
going to happen in 9. Like,
I don't either.
Is it going to be a fight? Because that fight doesn't solve anything.
No.
Is he going to turn himself in, or is he going to escape?
I mean, he's got 5 days to do stuff. Is he now running around the time stream for 5 days? Because if he could do a billion or a few billion years in seconds,
right? He can. What
5
can he do in 5
days?
days?
Everything,
Yeah.
like everything.
But even if he does everything, kind of wipes it out. He's still the same person, and we, the reader, know. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so Heroes in Crisis number 8, available tomorrow.
Mhm.
Read up, y'all.
Hope you weren't a Wally West fan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, jeez, that's so dark and bleak. I tell you what, I'm gonna watch Endgame to make myself feel better. I think that's what I need in this,
Yeah.
and you guys should see that this weekend as well because it's amazing. We're gonna be at Crosswoods representing on Thursday. I'll be at Grove City AMC theaters on Friday, and then at Gym City for the Comic-Con in Dayton. So come look me up and give me a hug because I'm gonna need it after this. Ugh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Ugh.